This is Tyler Shelton with Smart Austin Realty Group, and we are here with the OG, Stephanie Hunt. She is the front man and the creative force behind a band that I'm really excited about, Buffalo Hunt. And oftentimes our clients want to know about, the Austin music scene. Where are good places to see music? What bands are trending? Austin has a rich, storied culture of music, and we are very lucky to be with someone who is like a tenured ambassador of this scene. So please, tell us a little bit about Buffalo Hunt.
Okay, hi Tyler. This is really fun. So Buffalo Hunt is my band. It's technically my moniker. I'm Stephanie Hunt, the band's Buffalo Hunt. I found out that the word buffalo is a verb and a noun. The verb is to baffle and to bewilder, and I think that creativity in itself for me is seeking confusion. So I'm not talking about killing buffaloes, I'm talking about buffalo hunting, seeking out mystery, seeking out what confuses you as an artist, and just go ahead and state that in my mission statement of what the music is.
Okay, I love that. So the creative process for you looks like a deep dive into confusion, obscurity, the unknown, a la Buffalo Hunt.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would wager to say that the creative process for anybody involves confusion. So we're all on a buffalo hunt.
Very cool. Didn't know that. That's super interesting. So you've been in the industry a long time. As I've mentioned, you're all over show business and all kinds of various platforms and manifestations. But I kind of want to talk about how Austin as a city, or the music culture and specifically, how it's played a role in your narrative as a musician. I know you come from, your dad is a killer musician, your sister's a killer musician, so we know that's in the blood. But as a whole, how does Austin fit into your sound, your cultivation of your sound?
Well, firstly, I don't think I'd be a musician if I didn't grow up in Austin. Even though I come from a musical family, I grew up playing classical violin and stuff, and that's kind of the way that my family does music. But I started going to shows and getting a fake ID when I was like 15, and that's because I grew up in Austin and there was live music every night. And so I could see these dope shows, see jazz, see, swing bands and salsa bands and psychedelic community and soul bands. And I think I have a very widespread sense of what inspires me, and it's because I grew up getting to tactily listen to different genres and feel them within myself and what I like about them, what I don't.
And I think Buffalo Hunt is a really accurate reflection of that in the actual sound. Sonically, it is, right? You definitely have psychedelic rock there present as kind of an undercurrent, but you have elements of shoegaze, you have pop, you have kind of that, jazz, more classical elements, more technical elements to your music. You have a few singles out right now, and we are awaiting an album release, right? Tell us about the album and when we can expect to hear it.
Okay. Also, thank you for listening to stuff that makes me happy. The point of it is also that people hear it. The album is called Ambitions of Ambiguity, and it's going to be out at the beginning of next year in the spring. And it's something that I think is reflective of the times we're in, but also I wrote it a long time ago, so it just happens to reflect now. I've always been into ambiguity, and right now I think we all are faced with it every day.
Totally. And that syncs with just your stated general mission statement of what Buffalo Hunt is. It's a search into ambiguity, right? A search into the unknown. So I'm really excited to hear it. I'm sure it's going to be killer. Now I know you're releasing it independently And
I'm releasing it with 9 Mile Records.
9 Mile.
With
Okay.
shout out also
Yeah, not-
local 9 Mile Records.
That's yeah. So I wanted to talk about that, right? What
Let's talk about it.
Let's
Tyler.
talk
Let's
about
talk
that.
about it.
what's the benefit for you to be signed to a local artist? What does that mean? I mean, local label.
Okay.
What does that do for you? Kind of what's the play there?
Well, again, I would like to say the name of the album is Ambitions of Ambiguity, so I have no knowledge that is the right way or the wrong way, just figuring it out myself. But I love the dudes at 9 Mile Records, and I think more heads on a project is always going to be better for it, and they have a really nice reach and an ability to print vinyl, and they love the record, and we have great conversations, and all of that matters. And I love being a part and supported by the Austin community rather than going outside of it. Anytime I've tried to go outside of the Austin community, I'm like, y'all are assholes.
Well, I can kind of vouch for that in how I've been following Buffalo Hunt. You've played all kinds of venues all over the world, right? But it seems that with this project specifically, you're really accessible. You're playing, I mean, we're here at Far Out Lounge in South Austin. This is a killer spot to catch live music. But like, you'll be here on a Tuesday, or you'll be down the road at some of our other spots, on a Thursday, which like, I think is really cool. It really kind of speaks to, your dedication to the music scene in Austin. It's, you don't seem out of reach, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I like that. I like to be able, right now I feel like, again, there's no rules to what is good and what isn't good. And actually, although I've had the band Buffalo Hunt for a while and I've been writing songs for like 7 years, I've always been in other bands, and this is the first time that I've like fully dedicated to having my own band. And the other fun thing is that basically every show I have different band members and we play completely different sets, because I'm like, it's all experimental at this point, and so why not just lean into that rather than think of anything as a burden?
Yeah, I love that. Where do you see, with that in mind, where do you see Austin's music scene evolving or devolving in the next 5-10 years? Like, do you think we'll ever, I mean, obviously we have massive population growth. We have tons of people coming to the city, which is a beautiful thing, right? But do you think that we'll end up being like Nashville? Do you think that Sony Records will have leasing space on 6th Street, or is it going to be kind of predominated by independent labels and still an artist-driven scene?
Well, I feel like it's gonna continue to be small potatoes in terms of industry. I mean, I do hope that, bigger labels start to come here, because, the whole velvet rut thing of artists stay here because they're comfortable, but then there's no opportunity. It's kind of true. And so as much as it's a beautiful music community, you do have to leave in order to do something for yourself, technically. Or usually. For the future, I mean, there's always going to be people coming here thinking that, I mean, it's called the live music capital of the world. So people come here all the time thinking that there's an industry. There's great shows, but it's kind of tight-knit at this point. And I do think it can grow, and it's going to, in some way, honestly, Ambitions of Ambiguity, I'm going to just say it, I don't know how. But I think my hope is that no matter what, you can still feel that magical spark when you see a good band and you're like, man, this is my town and I feel so special for being here. Even if you're a newcomer to Austin, there's a magic that I hope is always preserved, that it doesn't become too ambitious.
I like that a lot. I can relate. I mean, being a local, okay, cut, we stop. 3, This is Tyler Shelton with the Smart Austin Realty Group. We're here with Stephanie Hunt of Buffalo Hunt. We have an album coming out, Ambitions of Ambiguity.
Yeah, that's it.
And while I got you, I just kind of want to throw some fun questions at you.
Right.
Walk me through your perfect Austinite day from start to finish.
Okay. What's up? I'm Buffalo Hunt. Hey, nice to see you. My perfect Austin day involves not knowing what I'm going to do, because I think that's the quintessential Austin. Can I cuss? I won't cuss. Austin thing to do is to not know, like, you wake up, you go to Barton Springs, you run into somebody, and they're like, hey, you want to go get tacos? And like, then you go to Torchy's Tacos, and then while you're driving, one of your friends is next to you, like, hey, I'm playing a show tonight. And you're like, oh man, I'm gonna go to that show tonight. And then in the meantime, you're like, go to a yoga class, go on a walk, and then before you know it, you're at the show, and then probably someone's like, oh, hey, you want to come over to my house after? You're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. And then you go over to their house. So I think right now my ideal situation isn't as possible because there's a lot of free flow that's restricted right now. But those are the days that I remember and I love the most.
I agree entirely.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like the Linklater movie.
Yeah, Waking Life.
Waking Life.
Sure.
You're just going and you're having conversations with everybody. That's my shit. Oh.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of shows, I'm excited for Levitation Fest.
Oh, yeah.
I think that psychedelic rock is it's really iconic in Austin, and people sleep on it, on Austin psych rock. Levitation's a great collection of people that are going to be playing this year, you being one of them. Where are you going to be playing?
I believe in playing at Empire. We should check that out. I don't know what I'm doing usually until the moment before. I know I'm playing Levitation Fest. Very excited. I love the Black Angels who put the whole thing together. I don't know if you know, but I used to have a band when I was 21 or 20 that included Alex Moss and Christian Bland and Chris Catalina from the Black Angels. So I have loved the psychedelic community here in Austin for a long time. It's very...
Yeah, Levitation's great. It's like, 5-6 venues. They just kind of get taken over for 4 days in late October by some of Austin's fiercest talent, I contend at least.
We're playing on Halloween.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm gonna wear something crazy, man.
You got any ideas?
I have no idea. I mean, I might be Selena.
Selena?
Come on.
Okay, legend.
Yeah,
I mean, totally worth the play.
It would be fun.
What's your favorite part of town? If you gun to head, what's your favorite neighborhoods?
The first thing that popped in my head is what is it called? Okay, so we'll play charades. So if you're going out on Exposition and you go further, and then there's a little trail there that you can go out to, and there's an island you can swim out to, and there's so it's kind of Tarrytown, but just south of Tarrytown. And it's
You're like Old West Austin.
Clarksville,
Old West Austin.
very tight, old Clarksville. But no, I'm trying to talk. Redbud. I love Redbud.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like going out there. I like looking at the water. I like seeing the people, and you feel like you're in a secret spot.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about Austin is you have this cosmopolitan area, and you have a tech scene, thriving music, artist culture, but it's all kind of canvassed and backdropped by nature, within that's totally accessible.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the key great parts about Austin.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do we need to hold for the plane, or do you not give a
Hold for the plane.